Hi, welcome community members. I'm starting this little short coaching series for specifically my community members because I just want to make sure that developing your strong leader brand remains fresh in your mind. So my promise to you is that these will just be a few minutes long and we'll give you a little something to work on each time. So to start, I want to just kind of bring us all back together around why, as leaders, is it important for us to develop and to cultivate a strong leader brand. Several times over the last few months, working with various clients, I've heard various versions of this thought. I don't feel comfortable just writing a love letter to myself, or sometimes I just feel awkward being out there promoting myself, or, we've all known that person that just seems to be in it for self-promotion. So first of all, I want to allay your fears. Everyone who's on this community list, who has found me, I found you, you're not out there just promoting yourself. I know you all. I know every single person on the list, and I know that you are leading for the purpose of having some very meaningful, impactful work in the world that you've been called to do. This is universally true in this community. And so I'm proud of you. I'm proud of that. And you do not have to worry about your motivations. So given that, let's start from that place about ourselves. Why do we develop a strong personal brand? So this is more than just showing up strong for our current role or our current company, but why do we need a strong personal brand? Because our brand is our concrete expression of our intention. I'm going to say that again. Our brand is our concrete expression of our intention. Who we are, what we stand for, how we are showing up in the world, what we wish to impact in the world, how we uniquely approach that problem space, the unique points of view that we bring to that area of expertise, and how we operate in accordance with our values. Those are all elements of the core of our brand. And so when we build a brand, we're starting from that core. We're starting from those questions. Who are we? What's the impact we want to have in the world? What does it really mean to us? Why us? Why are we leading the charge? Why are we passionate about this thing? When we lead from that space, and when that forms the core of our brand, then all of the other elements of our brand, how we express ourselves visually, how we express ourselves in the way that we speak, in the specific language that we use, how we express ourselves in written content, how we express ourselves in terms of the networks that we're building. These elements of our brand all become about making us the most successful, the most effective, the most impactful leader we can be, to have that great impact and that great meaning that we want to have on the world. So let me tell you just a little bit about how this really works. Many of you know me a little bit, not just in my brand work, but you also maybe know about me that I've been a 25-year plus practitioner of Buddhist philosophy and meditation teaching. And one of the things that I have learned about reality and the way that the world really works is that the stories that we tell, that becomes our reality. So we actively create our reality through the stories that we tell. That means every day we wake up in our mind, whether we're very conscious about it or not, having a story. And that story becomes our intention. And that intention then shapes our words, our actions, everything. And so the story that we start internally quickly becomes the story that we're telling externally, whether we're fully conscious of that or not. And so think about each morning I wake up, there's a story There's a version of me that's appearing to my mind. That's my reality. That is who I am as a leader today. And then I start expressing that version of my reality. And that expression becomes how others experience me as a leader. And that becomes their reality, right? Who I am to them as a leader. And so when we are not as intentional as we can be about the story that we're telling, two things can happen. One is we're not stepping in to the best leader version of ourselves that we can possibly be. So if we are more intentional about the story that we're telling, if we're more intentional about our brand, who we are, and every day we're getting up with a mindset of living up to that brand, then we are actively stepping into the best version of leader that we can be. Second, if we are intentional about sharing that brand proactively, consistently, with great clarity to the others around us, we're allowing those people to fully know and understand us as leaders, which makes it easier for people to follow and collaborate with us. So imagine that you're a team leader. Maybe you've got 50, 100 people underneath you. Maybe it's only 5. That's okay. The more that you can proactively, consistently, and with great clarity share the story of who you are, what you are up to as a leader, what you're trying to impact in the world, and how you operate in accordance with your values, the more your team members and your stakeholders and your stakeholders and community can align with you and be helpful to you and can deliver what you're hoping that they can deliver. Or conversely, they might realize that you're not for them, and that's okay too. The quicker that people understand fully who you are and know that you're not for them, and then they can make a conscious choice to move, is also very helpful for you as a leader, as I'm sure you understand. So today, what I really want to leave with you as a closing thought and a call to action is this week, I want you to notice. And don't think you have to fix it all, but I want you to notice, what's the story that I'm telling to myself about myself? And how am I showing up in all these different ways? How am I showing up in video meetings? How am I showing up in one-on-one meetings? How am I showing up when I go out to the grocery store? How am I showing up? And is that actually how I want to show up? If it's how you want to show up and you've been intentional, awesome. But if you find that you're answering the question a lot of different times, like, oh, I just kind of am rolling along and I haven't been as intentional as I'd like to be here, then let's make a note together. Let's make a note of those places and let's just think about, how might I be just a little bit more intentional in that touch point, in that interaction? How might I be just a little bit more on brand, authentically to me as a leader? So I hope that leaves you with a little something to do this week that is not overwhelming, but allows a little bit more of your own unique awesome to come forward. And as always, I'm wishing you the best. Reach out anytime if you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation. Cheers.